Welcome to this week's weekly card reading. I am Allison. I am an intuitive and a spiritual guide and coach, helping others connect to their intuition and strengthen their intuition to start living life more in alignment and with ease. So every week, or at least I try to every week, because last week I missed it, I like to come on and just give some intuitive messages to help give you some guidance for the week ahead. It's what your guides are wanting to share with you to kind of give you some help and assistance in this thing called life. So I've already connected in prior to coming on this video and pulled through two messages. So you are going to ask yourself, ask your guides, your higher self, if message number 1 or message number 2 is meant for you this week. You can ask a question and or you just leave it up to see what the messages come through and see if it resonates. And if both messages are pulling your heartstrings today, then they're both meant for you. So I have felt into the message and pulled cards. So these two cards are for message number 1. And these two cards are for message number 2. Okay, so message number 1, the cards that I pulled was loosen your grip, coping mechanism, density, addiction, let God in. Oh, I'm going to drop it. Okay. And then the other one was the sirens, use your voice, expansion, and freedom. So I've felt into the message, but I'm also going to read the energy from these cards at the same time. So I felt like there was this energy of kind of like just like being on the train of life. So just, like on the train and it's just chugging along and you're just doing all of the same things every day, day in and day out, that you're meant to do. And just kind of like, I don't know, it feels like containment in the sense that you're not kind of drawing outside the lines and you're just going. But I feel this energy of wanting to like step off the train, to detour, to take a different route and go elsewhere, like to kind of get off of this train of life and the way maybe you've been doing it and kind of doing it differently. And so part of that is there's this sense of surrendering, letting go, surrendering, and seeing kind of where that wave or that tide takes you, instead of just kind of being in that controlled energy of like, well, I got to do this and I got to do that and I got to do this. So kind of like letting go a bit in that sense, and then also kind of feels like part of you being on this train and having these maybe rigid routines is kind of like a coping mechanism that makes you feel safe, because it kind of feels like if you were to pull that off, you might feel a little like, oh my God, like then what am I supposed to do? Like I need this routine. Without that, then, what happens? Everything crumbles. And so it's trusting in maybe that inner feeling, maybe that inner voice that you've been hearing to kind of do it differently, to kind of step off that train. So if you've been feeling this kind of pull or this like, what the heck is the point? Or asking those questions or just feeling like you need more, this is your soul speaking to you. This is meant to happen. And it's just inviting you to explore that a bit more, to see where you can kind of let go and surrender more in your life, to allow this kind of expansion, because it feels like when you step off that train and you start to kind of surrender, you're going to see this expansion, this growth happening, that your inside is seeking, wanting. So I hope that helps. Message number 2. So the C of Mintaka, seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. And then plunge, don't hold back, it's time, go for it, dive in. So when I first pulled this message forward, I instantly saw like a turtle. And so I was like feeling this kind of like slow and steady feeling momentum kind of going. And I also felt this kind of like childlike excited feeling as well. And so really with the message, like it feels like there's something, like maybe you're working on something or having this idea or something's ruminating, that you're kind of working towards, but it's kind of being in a strategic, controlled way. So this kind of like, slow and steady, rinse the waste. And they're making me feel like they're wanting you to approach it a different way, or to, like that it's you've done enough of the slow and steady rinse the race. It kind of feels like you're meant to now just like rip away the band-aid, rip away the controls of it, and dive in and do it. So whatever you are kind of been working towards or feeling like you're working towards, it just feels like Spirit saying you need to just do it. Now it's time to do. Take whatever's been ruminating inside your mind and putting it into action. There's no more time to just kind of think about it. It's time to do action. Make action. Take action. Oh my gosh, Allison. So, especially in these cards, like bringing unconsciousness to light. So it just also feels like there's some more wisdom inside that as you start to take action, more will come through that you didn't even know was there. And it's going to get that ball rolling and that momentum growing faster than you could anticipate. Let me just see. Because I just see. And it also, because they were showing me the example of when I'm doing a reading for somebody. So I go into meditation and I pull their energy forward and I receive, and then I start to write it out. And as I start writing, more starts to come through. So it becomes this automatic writing. So they're showing me this as an example of, as you start taking action, this unconscious part is going to start coming out. Like it's going to be this wave of inspiration or knowing or how to, and that's what's going to kind of like help move it forward. Without that, it just feels like if you choose to kind of continue on the same path of the slow and steady, or maybe the thinking, or maybe you're stuck in your head and you're not, doing the action of it, it just feels like it's going to draw it out even longer, and that there's this untapped inspiration just waiting to happen as you start making those moves. And you are meant to make those moves. You're not meant to know everything. You're meant to learn along the way. So I hope that is helpful, and I hope everybody has a great rest of their week. We'll see you next week.